पावन, the most पावन, क्योंकि पावन वो पूरा वो श्लोक जो है रामचरित मानस में. And then he's talking about, he said there is a Dwarka Puri, there is a this Somnath Puri, there's this Puri, there's that Puri, but why is it only that the Pavan Shabd has been used for Ayodhya Puri? And that is, he says, because nowhere else the deity in their human form was born. It is only in Ayodhya that he was born. So therefore it makes it the most pavan. Now these are little things, but how he was approaching it and telling it to the people. Incidentally, I would also like to say that the Kathak community, when we are talking about the Kathak community, they have always been there. Because even the Mahabharat, the Adi Parv, that was talks about it in the Adi Parv section of the Mahabharat. Kathakasya pare rajan shamnasya vanaukasa divya khanani ye chapi pathanti madram juja. Then there is this 4th century BC Prakrit.
I'm coming into that. वही आपका मैं वही मेरा अगला क्वेश्चन भी वही है. नृत्य धर्मम कथा काच देवलोकम. Prakrit text 4th BC and in 4th century and inscription archive at Kameshwar in Mithila region. So many references you all found. What's कांता समित उपदेश, उसके बारे में हमने अभी देखा. अभी आप महाभारत का रेफरेंस दे रहे थे, तो वी वुड लाइक टू नो द हिस्ट्री. ये आप जैसे अभी बता रहे थे, तो वो कहाँ से हम आए हैं, और ये शब्द आपने जो अभी बताया महाभारत के उसमें भी था, तो प्लीज इलैबोरेट इट बिट मोर.
I leave the Kanta Sammit to you. Kanta Sammit, I would leave it to her.
Fine.
But the other part of it, the history, the Prakrit inscriptions, these were not found during the course of this research. This was in the 90s.
Okay.
And this was, and the Kameshwar archives in Mithila. So that is where these fragments were found. And it talks about, like Magga Sirsut Pakhe Nakhatte Varan, I forget, it's a big one. Gangaye Mahanadiye Tate, Sabvo Kathaka, Bhingar Natenam, Stuti Tisi Kayam, Ehi Raya Adinaho Bhavenam Pasai. यानी कि गंगा महानदी के तट पे सभी कथक श्रृंगार नृत्य कर रहे थे, स्तुति करते हुए, जिसे देख करके आदिनाथ भाव विभोर हो गए. So these were there, have been there. So this is 4th century BC. Now you've had this community talking about it, as I said, in the spirit of the Natya Shastra, giving values, and because those values reach straight to the heart, so that is why the fifth Ved was formed, the Natya Ved, so that it reaches the people. And now I'll leave the Kanta Sammit. Mahabharat, I've already said.
Actually, the history of Kathak starts, the recorded history is what Shovana has said in an inscription on 4th century BC. Then in various shastras, various books, right from Mahabharat down till the 19th century, we have references to them one after the other of the Kathak community doing dance. Not doing dance, sorry, doing preaching dharma, not dance. They were not connected to dance as such till the 18th century. It is only in the 18th century that the Kathaks and the dance became like, the British came and said that they are dancers. Because till then in India there was only Natya, which was a combination of music, which is actually, Shovana should speak about this, music, dance, instruments and so this separation of art started, and so did the concept of Kathaks being dancers started. Now about Kanta Sammit Updesh, which she has asked, this was an eye-opener for us. Because when we saw Ayodhya perform, we went back and we asked, what is this happening? What is these Brahmins are dancing, doing Kathak in the middle of a temple, and ye tradition hai kya? So then these two Mahants were called, and they told us about. And they said कि आप जानते हो कि कथक क्या है? So we said Kathak, तो I mean she's a guru, so what is there to jano? You know, I mean you're sitting with a Kathak guru, and he said नहीं, Kathak katha से है. So we said हाँ कथा कथक से है. He said आप जानते हो कथा क्या है? So he said कथा का है, का meaning भगवान, था meaning उसको स्थापित करना. So जब भगवान को किसी के दिल और मन में स्थापित करते हैं आप, वो कथा है. So that is what really shook us. And then he said कि हिंदुस्तान में 3 किस्म की उपदेश हैं. There are 3 ways of doing this. One is the Ved Sammit Updesh, which is done by Brahmins for Brahmins, where you just learn the mantras. You don't question, you don't do anything, you are just repeating the mantras. It is teacher to the taught, it's just that. The second is Sugrit Sammit Updesh. Sugrit means dost. It is like Krishna and Arjun. Arjun can ask Krishna, he's talking Gita, he's giving you the highest philosophy, but yet his student can ask the question. That is the other kind of Updesh, which can be done even by a non-Brahmin but it has to be a learned person and a person who is ready to take that kind of philosophy. The third one is Kanta Sammit Updesh. Now this is where Kanta means beautiful beloved. It means the beautiful beloved, which is also a reference to God, because God is beautiful, God is your beloved, and it is like talking to your lover. It is like talking to a beloved person. So it is this relationship which only a Kathak can do. And the persons who give this kind of Updesh, they sing, they dance, they emote, they woo, they do everything in Shingaras to be able to connect to God. So this is Kathak, and what they are doing is Kanta Sammit Updesh. Would you like to add?
It also means that it reaches straight to the heart. That is why if it reaches here, it has a limit, it's something else. If it reaches in a intellectual way, it is different. But if it reaches straight to your heart and it touches your emotions, then it stays with you. And that is exactly what I was mentioning, that even the Natya Shastra from chapter 1, verses 7 to 14 talk about the vision and mission, that they should reach the people straight, it should reach their hearts. And that is what it talks about. And the mention of Kathaks, as she said, that we've had it historically. Later on, even in the 13th century text, Sangeet Ratnakar, that Kathaks were not listed as in the list of entertainers. They were in a separate list where they occupied a very high position. So in the seating protocols also were accordingly, which showed that they were held in high esteem. That is in the Sangeet
They
Ratnakar.
used to get jagirs and everything.
And later on they got jagirs, and then the census was conducted by the British.
There only I am coming. कथक की जिस तरह सब कहानी सुन रहे हैं, तो we all can understand कि कितनी pious और devotional कथक्स were. आजमाना चाहता था तूफान उस पेड़ को, सिरे से सतह तक झकझोर दिया, मगर तोड़ नहीं पाया. In 18th and 19th century, the wrong portrayal of Kathaks in William Crook Census. Then again, rumors of Middle East Islamic influence. Yeah. हाँ, वो entertainers they no. Then again, rumors of Middle East Islamic influence tarnished the image and reputation. Why it was done and how it affected the sacred and temple tradition.
Well, when you're talking about the colonial period, the British, for the first time in that period, when the census was conducted, Kathak became part of the census, the Kathak community. Now, so in that, the dancers and musicians, yes, they became part of that. But it was also mentioned that they are Brahmins. And their gotra and their this thing ki ye aap kaun se gotra ke hain, and all that has been mentioned. So those details, but that they were religious dances, that they were temples. So that has been clearly there, but still their categorization comes under the list of dancers and musicians along with others. And similarly, later on, after that, it becomes that we are more familiar with that the last 200, 300 years. Now, how does Kathak come into the courts? And because now, when you're talking about the courts also, we had 16th century was quite a pot boiling period, because it was at that time when Bhakti movement was at its height, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and others, and Vrindavan was being re-established. The Vrindavan of that time. So now the Vrindavan Ras Leela, that had to take place. So now what happened at that time? That how was it done? Because उस पुराने चीज़ों की फिर अवतरित करना है, उनको साकार करना है, तो कैसे करें? Through dance plays. So now the verses were there. Now, according to one from the lineage of Radha Raman temple, Swami Srivats Goswami, he said that the Akbar, that Mia Tansen provided the music. And it was a Kathak by the name of Ballabh Kathak who came and did the first choreography. Now the question was, we have a Vallabhacharya and there's a Ballabh Kathak. So for me it was, are they the same? Are we talking about the same? Vallabhacharya was not known to be a dancer in that sense of the word, like a Kathak, though he danced. So, but we found that they were two different, distinct identities, and the period was also different. From there, in the 18th, 19th century, Nawab Wajid Ali Shah was personally interested in the arts, fine arts, and in his